Hi everyone, my name is Gksr from Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering, EC department. Today I need to discuss about the subject computer networks. I am going to discuss about the topic OSI module. The operating system interconnection model is a conceptual model from the International Organization for Standardization that provides a common basis for the coordination of standards development for the purpose of system interconnection. In the OSI references module, the communication between systems are split into several abstract layers: physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layers, session presentation, and application. The model partitions the flow of data in a communication system into seven abstract layers to describe networked communication, from the physical implementation of transmitting bits across a communication medium to the highest level representation of data of a distributed application. Each intermediate layer serves a different class of functionality to the layer above it and is served by the layer below it. Classes of functionality are realized in all software development through standardized communication protocols. Each layer in the OSI model has well-defined functions, and the methods of the each layer communicate and interact with those the layer immediately above and below as appropriate. Moving to the next slide. The Internet Protocol Suite has defined in RFC 1122 and RFC 1023 in the model of network developing contemporary to the OSI model, and was founded primarily by the US Department of Defense. It was the foundation for the development of the Internet. It assumed the presence of generic physical links and focused primarily on the software layers of communication with a similar but much regressive structure than the OSI model. In the early and mid 1970s, networking was largely either government sponsored, that means NPL network in the UK, apparent in the US, cyclers in France, or vendor development with proprietary standards such as IBM's System Network Architecture and Digital Equipment Corporation DECnet. Public data networks were only just beginning to emerge, and these began to use uh, the X.25 standards in the late 1970s. The OSI model was first designed in raw form in Washington, D.C. in February 1978 by French software engineer Herbert Zimmermann, and the refined by Steel Draft standards were published by the ISO in 1980. The drafts of the references model had to contend with many completing priorities and interests. The rate of technology change made it necessary to define standard that new systems and could converge to, rather than standard in procedure after the act. The reverse of the traditional approach to developing standards, although not a standard itself, it was a framework in which future standards defined. Moving to the next slides. The concept of a seven-layer model was provided by the work of Charles Bachman at Honeywell Information Systems. Various aspects of OSI design evolved from experience with NPL networks, apparent client and the International Networking Working Group. In this model, a networking system was divided into layers. Within each layer, one or more entities implemented its functionality. Each functionality interacted directly only with the layer implement immediately beneath it, and provided facilities for the use by the layer above it. The SA model is still used as a reference for teaching and documentation. However, the OSI protocols originally convinced for a model did not gain proper popularity. Some engineers argue the OSI references model still relevant to cloud computing. Others say the original OSI model does not fit today's networking protocols and have suggested instead a simplified approach. And then this is the data processing by two communicating OSI capable devices proceeds as follow. These are the standard documents. The OSI model was defined in ISO IEC 7498, which consists of the following parts: ISO IEC 749812341. These are the basic models: security architecture, naming and addressing management framework. It is also published in ITUT recommended X.200. What is TCP? A TCP model refers to the transmission control protocol, internet protocol model. This model is a part of network domain designed specifically for overseeing efficient error-free transmission of data. The history of TCP is given below. The Internet Protocol, the set of protocols make up the network layer of the Internet, is described here. The seven layers of OSI model are physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, and application layer. These are the seven layers of OSI model. Features of the TCP model. The mentioned features are the features of TCP IP model standard with the network concepts. How does TCP work? This is a very interesting question. The TCP protocol suite is the set of communication protocol used to connect a host on the internet. TCP IP allows computers on the same network to identify and communicate with each other. TCP is a two-layer protocol with the transport layer TCP responsible for reliable end-to-end communication, and the internet layer accountable for enrouting packets from the host to host. This is how the TCP work. Why is TCP is important? TCP is essential because it provides an architecture that allows for virtually instantaneous communication across all types of network media such as copper, fiber, or wireless. It does this using the Internet Protocol suite, which encompasses both the TCP and UDP protocols. These are the similarities between OS and TCP references models. The similarities are described here via points. Differences the differences between OS and TCP references model. OSI model is generic model that is based upon functionalities of each layer. TCP model is a protocol oriented standard. These are the some of the differences between OS and TCP references models. Moving to next, thank you so much for the thank you.